Deep Dive with David Stendhal, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis. Hey, it's David Stone with tonight's Deep Dive. It is July 9th, 2018. Tonight I'm going to look at coffee again, the ETF being Joe. A couple of things I want to add to this analysis. First, all of the trends are to the downside, but it's beginning to base a little bit here. So the seasonals are pointing to the upside. We just recently had a wave low, which is positive for the market. We have on the deep dive analyses, this on the dailies. Here's coffee. We just recently had a surge low today, and we had a dazed low that occurred a day ago, trading day ago, meaning Friday. Now, what I've just recently added to the site is a weekly pattern. Weekly deep dive. It's the same signals, they're just simply applied to weekly bars as opposed to daily bars. And with coffee this week we have a surge low that triggered along with a day's low from a week ago. So each of these are going to be offset by a week, and so it just simply gives a longer term perspective. But coffee is building out a base. That's the upshot of everything that we're talking about here today. So if we take a look at coffee, we look at daily bars. Let me shrink this up a little bit so we can see this violent sell-off and this V bottom type surge. The issue that we're having with this base, and I think it's going to be a volatile base, is this resistance we are up against right now. And even when we break above that eventually, we still have this major resistance that is up there. And so that major number is 117.73. That's the critical level that we really have to break above and stay above. But there's a distinct possibility that we could start seeing, if the seasonal tendencies, as volatile as they are, could start to point to the upside. So I mentioned the seasonal tendencies. Let's take a look here at, in this case, the 10-year chart. Here is essentially, this is the 6th, today is the 9th right here, so it's off by a day or so just because of the weekend. But we're basically, honing in on this low period right here. Now you can see this volatile surge to the upside, retracement, surge, a little bit of retracement, surge, retracement. But you see what is a trend to the upside, but it's a volatile trend, a tradable trend. And so if you're going to be longer term trade oriented, you're just going to have to stick with the volatility that is going to be associated with this particular market, or you're going to be jumping in and out of positions. Either way, coffee is looking quite attractive here with the trend to the upside, at least until mid-September. But it's not for the faint of heart. It is a really good market to trade, and what we're hoping for right now is that the building of the base that we're under right now is really going to hold here, and just simply realize that there's going to be some resistance. Now when it comes to our systems, we had been short, and we've been going through, in the latter part of last week was a reversal where we've been tightening up and reducing our short positions, and then on the open today we started having some scenarios where we're starting to unwind positions on the short side, and we've gone full-fledged long the market. So here is coffee right here with two long positions. Already have a nice little profit that's underway. Doing well in cotton, we're doing well on the short side, that's longer term, but still a very good profit on the short side with sugar. But coffee is now established itself. We're starting to build out. I would suspect that we're going to see a little bit of retracement in coffee based on what the seasonal tendencies would show us, and then I would expect that we might see a volatile tradable trend to the upside in the coming months, at least until mid-September, as an example, just simply using this as a tool or as an indication, and that's all this really is. It's kind of a roadmap, but it's not necessarily something that's going to be exact, obviously. I'll be doing a webinar later this month on seasonal charts and the whole process that we go through. So if you're looking for an opportunity to learn a little bit about seasonals and how we actually go about using them, if you come to resources, then webinars. What you can do is you can come down. I usually do a daily, not daily, but a weekly webinar on Wednesdays at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. This coming one, we're going to be doing something that is related to the consolidation periods associated with markets and how to trade them. And then later in the month, we will be doing something on seasonal tendencies. So you can simply sign up here if you're interested, looking at different topics and something that will allow us to really delve into different subject matters. It's only an hour long, and it's pretty consistent with what we're going to be doing. And then we'll start to do things on the weekend. We'll start doing some things in the evening time. But for right now, we're just kind of pinned on the 10:30 Eastern Standard Time a.m. That is for anything on Wednesday, and go into different topics. But soon we'll be doing a little bit more on the seasonal tendencies. Until then, just simply look for the resistance that we're up against right now, which is at 115.43, which is essentially where we are right now. Then look for the resistance at the 117.73 level, and if we can break above and stay above on a closing bar basis, that would dictate that we're going to theoretically start to move a little bit higher. But do realize that it's going to be a volatile trend and not just simply a straightforward straight up type trend with very limited volatility. That's just not coffee for the most part. So with that having been said, we will take a look at some other markets here later in the week and kind of roll from there. Thanks very much. Bye bye.